Hey everyone, today I have another layout update. As you can probably tell, I finally have a loop of track up and running. This is very rudimentary, it's not supposed to be anything final. Over here, I actually have the 060 track, which is probably going to be the final pieces of track that I'm going to use. Again, the bench work is, this is not going to be on the permanent layout, of course, but for now that works. Again, over here, also kind of janky. This is the 048 that I had already, so I'm going to need pretty much 2 times the curve track that I have now. I'm going to need 2 times this 048 and 2 times this 060 to get the inner and outer loops going. I already actually do have a little bit more 060 from that train store that I went to and got an absolute bargain on all the curves. Over here I have switches, which I also got from there. They're 048 switches, which are really nice. I'll probably use them in conjunction with the yard over here. I'll try to figure something out. I might have to find some 060 switches, which might be expensive, but I would be willing to pay that price to have a exit switch that's the same radius as everything else. And just having one nice switch would probably be good enough. And these would likely, if I could find a way, would be used as the exchange between the inner and outer loop. If I feel like doing that. If I don't feel like doing that, then, who cares? I'll just figure things out. Nothing is final, but I just got that sorted out. As you can tell, the benchwork, or the benchwork is fine. The plywood that's on top of the benchwork is really janky right now. I just took everything that was roughly the right size and just kind of secured it very loosely to the benchwork. It's good enough to run trains, but I wouldn't trust it with my life. I mostly did this because I didn't want to misjudge how much space I needed for the 060 and then cut too far into the wood and then have to either just redo it or, it'd make the whole process take longer and cost more. So I'm pretty much going to wait until I can obtain all of the 060 for the outer loop before I make any final cuts to nicer pieces of wood. Again, like I said, this is just some smaller pieces of scrap wood, you could say. So yeah, and like I think I've said, the little siding, the 2 sidings here, I would struggle to call it a yard. I just store some trains there. And that's not going to be a permanent feature of the layout at all. That's just going to be, just for now, just for fun. I've been running some post-war. Today I have my 681 and some rolling stock, just a nice little train. At the station here, I have a lot of vehicles that are worth pointing out. I have my Milwaukee Road pickup and a Chevy Bel Air. I love the green roof on there, the translucent green. That's very pretty. Here's something that I actually haven't shown off, a little Railway Express agency truck. That's a nice little die-cast. As you can probably tell, I have a lot of coach buses here. For $22, you can get 4 of these off of Amazon, and when you originally get them, they're in pretty garish, crazy colors, so I just sort of toned them down and painted them into more realistic colors for buses. These will be very useful when I sort of start working on the scenery for the layout, or at least because it's going to be an urban layout, there's going to be a lot of buses around, a lot of vehicles, and especially buses. Plan to get more than this eventually, but this is definitely good enough for now. And then of course I have my bus that I've had for a while that used to be a school bus, but of course this kind of bus generally wasn't used as a school bus, it's just a transit bus, so I just turned it into, like I said, a transit bus. So yeah, that's nice. Over here I've been playing around with catenary structures for the layout. I don't know if this design will be used for a possible trolley line in the city, or if I will try to implement these telephone poles and just adding stuff to them into the actual main catenary system, which this would be a very cheap and reasonably effective way of doing so. I still haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do the wire. I do have a spool of this copper wire, which might be perfect. But I'll figure that out. This is just testing. I've got some... It's mostly just seeing how the engineering is going to work out. Here we have our friend here just putting up one of these catenaries, and I'm still trying to figure out clearances as well, because I don't want it to be too tall as the pantographs won't be able to reach them, and the trolley poles, well, I'm not really worried about the trolley poles because they're pretty tall, but I've been testing everything with this auto rack. What I'm probably thinking is the outside loop's definitely going to be electrified. The inside loop probably not, and that's just where I'll run my taller rolling stock. So we'll see. I'll just try to find some kind of compromise, because I would rather have a nice electrified outer loop and just not be able to run an auto rack on it. But this is one way to do it, I guess. I'm still looking for ideas. If you've electrified your layout, or you have any ideas for how to make catenary structures and wires, 100% let me know, because I really want to gather as much information as I can about that. That's pretty much it for the layout for this moment. I absolutely can't wait until I get all the O60 in, so I can finally cut all of the wood for the bench work, or the plywood sort of base. And I really hope that this is going to turn out nice, and that I'm going to have a nice urban layout to work with and add a lot of details. Like what I'm really looking forward to right now, I would say probably the rail infrastructure that I'm going to end up building, like all of the signals and the catenary structures and all that, once I figure out exactly what I'm doing. And then the city and the street scenes and the buildings, and basically being an urban planner for a little bit and just trying to lay out a city that has a nice, realistic, and good city layout. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.